Hello, Internet. This is Ben with another mysterious space update. Multi-grain? Sorry, I'm just. I don't know how many people know this, but after you discover the mysterious source, instead of saying 7DRL crossed out, because obviously this is no longer a 7-day roguelike, it says some random silly thing that also isn't, and I chose lots of taking jabs at commercial stuff. So anyway, multi-grain. Um, and I'm not, let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about Mysterious Space. So I am working on the next release, of course. Um, one little bug fix, actually, I guess since I'm here, I don't think the beehives were dropping their scan data, and I still don't 100% understand why, and so it's possible they were. If not, I fixed it. Let's go ahead and play with it. That was a coincidence. They start there. So one thing I need to fix, which I haven't fixed yet, is right now it tends to group up the planets, and I did this intentionally. So if we go here, yeah, more likely than not you find another one. And I was like, oh, realistically, you would control many star systems that are adjacent, but gameplay-wise, this is stupid. I've just gone through 3 levels, and now I'm about to face something much harder. Um, it also just isn't, and maybe that's fine. In a way, you're like, ooh, I get to choose my difficulty level, right? I mean, maybe it's interesting to be able to skip to the 4th level. I feel like though, like especially coming back, you just like skip 3 planets at the end that you don't have to do. And even if you could skip a total of 3, I feel like I'd like to break it up a little more. I mean, it's as a player, if I want to buy and sell things, it's disappointing to go through 3 in a row because they never have a chance to get new inventory. And you might notice this if you play. You might go through 3 in a row like this and be like, oh, they always all have the same inventory. That's lame. They don't. If you go down to a planet and come back, they will have they'll change. They change like a couple items at a time or something. But you'll never have the opportunity to see that if they're all in a row like that. So I mean, there's a couple problems. Although, yeah, I mean, being able to choose your difficulty, that's potentially a good thing. Let's choose my difficulty a little less severely and go down here, and I will play as I talk. Um, so the game it has become, I think, too easy, and I say that based on the fact that my friend Sandy and I, or maybe I should say Pericarditis, who I've put in the credits, she plays this. First of all, we play this all the time. We discover a ton of bugs, and it's great. She's also just better at the game than I am, um, probably because she actually plays it. But I've become better as well because we play it co-op. But the game is definitely easy, and she can beat it in silly circumstances. I think an example I gave, I don't remember if I talked about this online anywhere before, but we visited Seattle recently, and she played on the airplane, which is super cramped, on the keyboard, which she has never played on before, without anything cool unlocked because she hadn't played on that computer before, and she still just beat it. She just beat it, and I'm like, no, this is too easy. Like, I guess that should be possible, but I don't know. It's too easy. The game is too easy recently, and that was with a bunch of these changes already in place. Like it was before I had released the latest version, but not long before. So she was able to play with the new damage system, which yeah makes everything easier. Which I mean was kind of the intent, right? Like I felt like it was unfairly hard before, and now I feel I have removed much of that unfairness, and that has made the game easier, and that's fine. I just need to inject the difficulty in other ways. So I'm going to be seeking for ways to do that. One way, and I hope that we will see it as I play here. Let's check that out. Okay, okay. Um, oh, there's more stuff to examine. Let's not examine things right now. Although, just to make my life easier. All right. One of the ways that things need to be easier is that the AI of some of the enemies has been a little bad, but I never really felt that it was important enough to fix. Like the guys that get above you and bomb you, there were weird circumstances where they would just stop moving, and then you could get up next to them and shoot them, and they wouldn't do anything about it. So that is hopefully fixed now, and I would love to test that out. I'm aware that there's a mini boss. I'm ignoring him for now. Some of the bosses also just need to be balanced a little. So this guy turned out to be fine, and partly that's probably because he's the most common, so I've been able to fight him a bunch and tweak things accordingly. I need to force the code to let me fight other bosses as well, and test them with equipment that would be about what you should have. Oops, uh, when you face them. But like the whale just goes down way too quick, and I think the big factory or whatever it's called that shoots missiles at you. Um, yeah, that guy's so hard to balance. He's so dependent on the equipment you have. I feel like as it is now, you have to have items to beat him, consumables, and maybe that's okay. Um, it's just hard to tell, and so I need to think about that more and maybe make success there a little less dependent on circumstances. Make it so you always have a good chance, or a fair chance at least. And whether that's because you use consumables or you have something else that has made you prepared fine, but I feel like it needs to be a little more consistent. So um, let me get out of the water here. Something else I want to talk about that I had promised to talk about earlier and had not done. So let's see if this. Well, that's good enough. Not that these guys hurt me. Um, is donations. So I am completely unable to keep up with donations, and I think that's just kind of a right now thing. Let me shoot this guy. Oh, another way that the game became easier, and I should talk about it, but let me finish this thought first. There were a lot of sales around Christmas, and I have caught up to most of those, but there's been some sales since, and things are slowing down. So I think I'm going to catch up. On the other hand, if I don't, I might start donating in larger chunks. So, and I don't know how many people are aware of this whole thing, so let me just briefly explain that I donate most. I'm not going to say all because I'm not super measuring, but I donate most of the profits to nonprofits. The profits in Mysterious Space. So, and I do it in $500 increments, rotating through these categories, and I'm just exploring to make sure there's not anything else. Although I think I already got my goodies. Rotating through the categories of space, health, education, and miscellaneous. So I have semi-recently donated to the Space Foundation, which is largely educational, but mostly focused on space. And if I had to pick between the two, I was like, fine, I'll put it in the space category, because for education, I would like something a little more general. So anyway, and the other thing I donated to was the International Rice Research Institute, which is trying to make sure that rice is easy to grow and cheap to grow and nutritious to eat, because there are problems with people who have a largely rice diet. And the U.S. knows this as well, and we dust our rice with, is it iron or a vitamin of some kind? I don't remember. But it is a problem, and so they're doing whatever they can. And genetically modified is absolutely in there. I would love to find something. Excuse me, my voice is getting kind of funny. I think it's just all the talking. I haven't done one of these posts in a while, or one of these updates. I don't know. I guess really I'm on the side of genetically modified things being like a-okay. Largely because it's what we've always been doing for thousands of years, just at a slow and inefficient rate, and it seems kind of silly to me to get upset that now we're doing it better. And I mean, another funny example though that I love that I read about, ruby red grapefruits. First of all, you probably could have got there by breeding anyway, but the way we created them that might for some reason upset people is that we bombarded seeds, or I think it was seeds of grapefruit, with radiation, back when radiation was a big thing. I think 50s or 60s or something, I don't remember when they finally did this, but people were like, whoa, radiation can do a bunch of amazing things, it can cause mutations, let's see if we can get useful mutations. So it was this brute force attempt to get a useful strain. And so of course you had lots of bad ones, and then you got wonderful ones, and those wonderful ones were the ruby red grapefruits of today. Surely they have been modified further by breeding. And bananas are such an artificial thing. I mean, most of the things we eat, I mean, strawberries, everything, you don't find them that way in the wild. We have bred them, and that is genetic modification. So anyway, I mean, and I shouldn't even be talking about this, because people who are like, yeah, you're right, are already saying, yeah, you're right, and people who are saying, no, you're wrong, are saying, no, you're still wrong, for reasons that for other reasons. So maybe it doesn't matter, but I would love to donate to things, especially getting, the U.S. is only one part of the world, and we are a wealthier part of the world where maybe we can afford to worry about things like GMOs. I would love to see if I can get GMO, organizations that are interested in getting GMOs to farmers who need them more, because they don't have the money to, it's cheaper. It makes their life easier and maybe possible. So goodness, that's more important than whatever worrying we're doing over here in a country where we can afford what we want, more or less. So, but I haven't quite found anything like that. The closest I have found is the International Rice Research Institute, so that is why I donated to them. So there's a little thing there. So the next category that I need to do is education. The next I need to do is miscellaneous. And I saw a TED talk a long time ago now, and I should look at it again, that was talking about the problems of getting things like medicine to places where there aren't good roads. You know, I mean, we take roads for granted in lots of developed countries, but that is a huge barrier in other places where it would just cost so much to set up roads, but you still want a way to get things around. And I'm just going to shoot down enemies while I talk. Come back here! Come back here! Get back here! Blue alien. Is it good? Nope. And look, all that work and it reduces my shield. Fine. Screw you, blue alien artifact. Um, anyway, the thing I was watching was talking about using drones to run around. And again, we can go, oh no, drones. It's like, no, look, there are people who need to get shit places. Medicine, food, important supplies. You know, and building roads is expensive, but if you can just build these occasional towers where you can go deliver stuff, amazing, right? Because you don't have to invest in building all these crazy roads. And you know, you're like, well, surely there's like dirt roads. It's like, well, if it rains, then no, there aren't dirt roads. There's mud roads, and those are less useful, right? I mean, it's problems like that. So I think I would like to see if I can find any organizations related to that. Um, you know, where is that today? You know, is making awesome drone networks to deliver medicine, like, has that been realized by now, or is that still something in the works? You know, are there nonprofits involved in trying to get that kind of thing set up? I would be interested to find out because again, it was something I saw a very long time ago. So I have some weapons. I haven't looked at them, but again, I don't want to bore you guys with me trying to make let me think of this properly. Strategic decisions, right? Not a tactical decision. um, a distinction that I don't know. I'm laughing because it's, ooh, look at me knowing, you know, game design nonsense. Wow, that seems real good. Yeah, right. Much slower fire rate. Even so, I mean that's why it's a second weapon. Yeah, why didn't I equip that to begin with? That is strictly better. And what other effects do we have? A 3-point shield. Oh my god, it's so good. All right. Oh gosh, what else do I have to talk about? Right, so ways to make the game harder. One of the things I did that was kind of aimed at making it harder and has also kind of made it easier is that the guys that shoot EMP bullets, these guys, see, you know, 1, 2, a longer pause, 1, 2, a longer pause. And the reason he does that, it was aimed for, and I'm like playing with this guy because I want to see if I can get him stuck, or rather if I can't get him stuck. He seems to be moving. For co-op, when you have the orbital, that uses... Ooh, I shot something else. Okay, I think... Whoa. Man, I'm taking all kinds of damage. Sorry, gosh, let me think here. I want to survive. Well, that's not what I wanted. We'll take it. Completely restructures the ship. Double shield regen. Okay, let's... on the fast ship now. So that guy has a gun that, you know, aims right at you. What else has a gun that aims right at you? It's co-op when you have the orbital. And I found that the orbital was just way too good in this new mode. And I didn't want to just reduce the fire rate because I felt that if anything it needed to be increased. It's really hard to aim when you're the little orbital around another player because you're moving so fast, or rather beyond your control, because you're being, you know, essentially dragged around by the main player. All right, let's take this over to that other button. So to combat the difficulty in aiming, I made the orbital have a faster fire rate. And if anything, I felt that wasn't enough, and I would like to speed it up more, but that means I would have to reduce the damage more. But of course, with this new damage system, okay, sensor malfunction, that'll be fun. With this new damage system, I can't really reduce the damage more, right? We're already at 1 damage per bullet. So what I did instead was it shoots in little... I'm just waiting. Okay. It goes in, you know, it's like a reload time or something. You can shoot some bullets, and then you have to wait. It has to cool down. And that is the same gun. It's the aim where you want and shoot gun that those orange squares that shoot EMP bullets at you use. So they are now, you know, they're following the same rules. Now, I could have undone that, right? I could have said, well, you get a special version that doesn't have to do that. That wouldn't be hard. But I think that it's interesting that they have that pause. It gives you a time when you can kind of get in there and fight them. Oh gosh, you. Um, so I don't want to take that away, but I think that they do. I mean, it's just another instance where the game has become easier, and so I need to compensate for that somehow. And I haven't found out exactly what I want to do. But again, I think it's better that they do have that pause. It gives you a more interesting way to play with them, right? I mean, I guess it's similar to ooh, let's go in here. I guess it's similar to when I changed the enemies to come at you. They used to come at a kind of a steady drip, like one every 5 seconds or something. I don't remember. Ooh, fuel shard. I missed it. Um, and then I was like, no, it's much more interesting if they come at you in waves. And that is a game design thing, interest curves and all that. Where you have moments of tension, punctuated by moments of, I guess, non-tension. Oh, calm. Okay, we're safe now. So the enemies now come at you more in waves, and there still is a constant drip for some of the things, like the little sea anemones, or what, did I get the M and the N backwards? Whatever, that you find in the ocean. The little gnats that swarm around. Those are still kind of constantly added. But so same idea here, right? I mean, rather than having a steady drip of bullets that you just can't do anything about, it's you now have these breaks where it's like, okay, now I move in. Oh, okay, now I need to back off or whatever. So yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely more interesting, and I don't want to remove that now that it has been put in the game. Nope, nothing down here. Run into thing. Yep, I just want to leave. Wow, my armor's all messed up. I wish I had. And have I gotten everything on the ship or on the planet? I want to look around more because I haven't discovered everything. I feel like I'm taking too long. Okay. I also got a new microphone, which is why so that's why I'm finally doing this recording. I have tried to record on multiple occasions, like over the past month, and I've kind of talked about it in other recordings that I did upload, where the quality was just bad. And so what I finally did is I didn't get a new microphone, but I have a microphone stand, so the microphone is being held in a single place, and I think more importantly than that, because I always had, well, previously I had a headset that was good, and then the headset I replaced it with just wasn't. But headsets are good because they keep the microphone, no matter how I turn my head, in a good spot. Sorry, I'm spending like way too much time in this planet. I think talking distracts me more than I give credit. Okay. Yeah, let's get out of here. Get out of here! Alright. More importantly than that, though, I think I have this little puff guard. So if I go like puff, 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 you won't get that like really loud noise on from your end, because it's this fuzzy little thing that kind of prevents that from happening, while somehow not preventing you from hearing what I'm saying. It's magic as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, that's really good. I guess I'm just gonna play a little bit more. Yeah, this armor is no good anymore. I think heavy armor, this minus 20% movement speed, I don't know how I feel about that. I think it might be too much. It's hard to tell. Ooh, I want a phase shield. I wish I had, let's see. Let's see if we can get like an extra upgrade part. Nope. Nope. That was the opposite. That's okay, because the hull will repair. I'll equip this for now, and when I can afford a second. Ooh, okay, wait, let's do this. Okay, before... Do we have like blinds you or whatever, like one of the dumb effects? No. Okay, we'll just use this. Speed is increased. Fine. Okay, now that I've used it, I'll switch off to the phase shield. I wanted the temporary or the bonus shield that gave before I switched away. Sure, we'll do that, and we will save up our upgrade points. All right, let's go to the next level. And if I can't think of anything else, well, oh my God, I'm so fast. If I can't think of anything else to talk about after this, then probably I'll just stop after this level. Whoops. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, that's fine. We'll go through. Oh, those guys are still bad. I don't like them. Yeah, we can take 0 damage. Right, I've got the thing. Yeah, so I don't know. Is there anything else to talk about? Just other ways to make the game hard. I would also like to look at the, oh, goodness. What I really need to do. So what I was going to say, let's say that first. I would like to re-examine the, I can't think, so I'm just going to look at them. Subroutines. These guys. down here, start with the game with 3 batteries, 20% movement speed, -2 capacity, all these guys. I would like to re-examine these. Because Sandy and I just pick the same ones all the time, and I wouldn't want to try a different one. I'm like, no, I like this one. I don't feel like I don't know. I've settled into the one I like best, and I don't know if I can change that in any way. Did I see sensors malfunction? No. Let's just use it. You're slowed. Okay, well then we don't want those. What about this one? Inverse controls. Oh god. My controls are certainly inverted. And I'm slowed. That's confusing. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, please. Oh no. I have to sort myself. Okay, thank god. Okay. I'm uninverted now. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any way to fix that problem. I mean, I feel like as a player, you're going to say, this is the one I like, this is the one I'm comfortable with, this is what I'm going to choose. And so what I really need to do, the thing I was saying second, before I re-interrupted myself, was I really need to take stats on what people use. I need to add some reporting to the game where it just tells me what are the what are the accessories, or rather the subroutines that people are playing with, which are the ones they're winning with, which are the ones they're losing with. Is there a disparity there that I am not expecting? I mean, some of them are said, this is specifically to make the game harder, so, I would expect you to lose more with those. Oh my goodness, yeah, let's just plow through a couple bullets. Yeah, don't want to get hit by that one. Okay. So yeah, I would like to take some metrics on that and find out what it is that people are actually using. Ew, don't want that. Yeah, and see if there are any that just no one is taking because it's too bad, or it's just not interesting enough, or whatever. And I think I could make more things interesting. I mean, sorry, let's go and look at these again. Sure. Plus 20% movement speed, -2 carrying capacity. Okay, I mean, it's good to have the option, I suppose. Maybe you want to offset, this ship, which is slower, and you're like, sure, I would rather take -2 carrying capacity instead of -15% movement speed, right? You can kind of switch up the disadvantages that some ships come with, and I think that's useful. But those sorts of things are also the less interesting route. I mean, I feel like it would be more interesting, and is anyone taking these? I doubt it. I think it would be more interesting, and that's technically a bug, the way that text is overlapping there. It would be more interesting if they were not just number tweaks, not simple stat tweaks, but something interesting that really changes the way you play the game in some way. Like what the ships try to do. This is the ship that's for ramming. This is the ship for, I want to go real fast. This is the ship for, I don't want to deal with alien artifacts being random. I don't know why I made this. I had a crazy idea of again going faster, but having a strange cost. So maybe I should even redesign the ship. And then there's this ship, which I describe as a support ship, but is actually pretty interesting and fun to play solo. I was able to get pretty far even before the new damage change. Turns out that only EMP isn't that much of a disadvantage, and in fact it's great to be able to just plow through force fields and not care. So yeah, I like these ones that give you very distinct play styles, and it would be great if I could capture that in some form in these, and I do in some, I think, right? I mean, we've got things like starting with batteries, but I don't know that starting with batteries is really that great. Same with starting with fuel, or is +2 carrying capacity, okay, whatever. It would be more interesting to do something like that accessory that's when you pick up something. What if it was whenever you picked up items, you launched bees, or did something else, or maybe it made it so that beehives were now your friends or something. I mean, there's other weirder things we can do in the game that are more unique than just I carry more stuff. So I would really like to look at those, but again, before I get too carried away with that, and I don't want to remove everything, because again, being able to kind of change your disadvantage with these sort of swapping subroutines is important. So before I go too crazy, I should definitely start taking stats on what you guys are doing, and also what's killing you. I mean, is there just something that's murdering people all the time besides the eye? I think I've fixed up a lot of the problems with that teleporting eye. But is there something else? So anyway, thank you as always for watching and listening and playing and everything to do with Mysterious Space. Fantastic. And it really is. I mean, it is great. It's been a lot of fun working on this game, and I'm going to continue working on it. So yeah, I hope these changes are exciting for you guys, and I hope that learning about these thought processes is also interesting to you. I've said this before, but it's always been interesting to me to hear what are game developers like? Why did they do that? What are they thinking? What are the reasons behind these changes? I always find that sort of thing super interesting. So, um, hopefully, I'm able to sate someone else's curiosity, the same curiosity that I've often had. So, thank you again, and goodbye.